for the Ride of Silence. We're sponsoring, and thank you all for coming out and supporting this event. We've got Ashton Hayward here from the city of Pensacola, and it's going to say a few words, and we'll keep on moving.
Well, Jeff, I know you're from Gulf Breeze, so we love you here in the city, all right? Well, I want to thank the West Florida Wheelmen for putting this on tonight, and I want to thank Vicki for everything that you've done. It is the Ride of Silence tonight, and it's the month of May is Bike Awareness Month. And one of the most important things that we've tried to do the last 4.5 years is really focus on that walkability, bikeability, and create the awareness for bikers in the city of Pensacola. We've done a little. We need to do a lot more. I had a meeting in Tallahassee a couple weeks ago, meeting with the DOT to try to find some more funding to really create that the bike lanes and the connectivity, which is so incredibly important in the city to get from all the neighborhoods to downtown, but really create that awareness between our folks in our vehicles, where we know it's the law, but they need to know that we're there too, and we have a right to be on our bikes and to be noticed. So I think bringing that awareness is incredibly important. I know our law enforcement officers do a great job, and they know that we push that from City Hall, that it's very important to be aware of the bikers on the road and really create a more bikeable, friendly community, not just in Pensacola, but obviously in Santa Rosa and Escambia County. So I want to thank Vicki again tonight. Tonight's a very special night for Vicki and her family on the Ride of Silence, but let's think about all our friends that have been biking forever that we've lost, not just in Florida, but across the Americas. So let's think about them tonight and think about all our friends. But let's continue to make it a bikeable, friendly community, and let's focus on the people that love to bike and continue to promote that. And Jeff, thank you for what you're doing with the West Florida Wheelmen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we have Vicki going to talk a little bit about some of our local bicycle accident people, and I think we have a couple of them here tonight.
Well, yes, great. Thank you so much for coming. I was telling a friend about doing this. Usually during the Ride of Silence, which is being held around the world on May 20th. It's the third Wednesday in May, all around the world. Last year there were, well, Trish will tell you how many, there were 315 locations that riders participated in. Anyway, we usually talk about someone that has been either hit or been killed cycling. And people that know me know that I'm a talker, but I'm not a speaker. So I wrote this out because I'm going to have a hard time speaking this too. But anyway, I'm going to share my story about my husband. And my husband was 66, and he was a longtime jogger, and he jogged daily and never missing. After the doctor said he had to quit because jogging of bad knees. I'm sorry. Closer, I'm sorry, because of bad knees, reluctantly he started cycling, and he loved cycling with a passion after he got into it. And he worked hard to become a strong cyclist. He loved climbing, and he even did lots, when we lived in California, he did lots of 9,000-foot climbs, just loving the challenge. We retired in 2006 in Gulf Breeze, but bought a vacation condo in Oceanside, California to be closer to family that lived out there. So we kind of vacationed out there. After the oil spill in 2010, he wanted to do something, but because of FEMA's regulations, he wasn't able to. So before we left to spend the summer in Oceanside, he contacted Gulf Breeze United Methodist Church about doing a fundraiser in support of oil spill victims. So his plans were to ride from San Diego, California to Jacksonville to raising funds and awareness of the oil spill victims, parts of the country that really had no idea what, the impact that the oil spill had. And he had a mission statement, and his mission statement was 1 John 3:17, which is, if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? And Roger took that really seriously. And anyway, he left the end of August from San Diego, and he rode 100 miles a day. And he took off a day every 7 days. And I think he would have kept on riding, but that was my I said he had to take off a day after 7 days of riding. And the trip was amazing. It brought a different closeness to us because I was his support on the ride. And we did have support of family and friends. And his route took us across 8 states, 2,100 miles, and he rode as much as he could along the Gulf Coast. So as soon as he could kick down to the Gulf Coast, he did. And on the way back, we were able to spend 2 days at our home in Gulf Breeze. And he was very excited that the end of the ride was near, and leaving behind riding in temps that were over 118 degrees in Arizona and many strong headwind days. With less than 300 miles left and planning an overnight in Tallahassee. With our son Ben, the excitement of finishing the ride was very close. Roger was hit and killed near Ebro, Florida. The road was very straight. It was Highway 20, but it was a section where there was no big wide shoulders, and anyway, wide shoulders, no driveways. The driver was on his cell phone, and he was writing notes at the same time. After he hit Roger, he did stop because the car in front of him stopped, and he didn't know what he had hit even after he hit him. And I did not witness that. I feel that God really kept me away from it, and when I came upon the accident, it was after the police support and other support was there. The driver lost his license for 6 months. He was fined $160 and an extra $1,000 because of a death involved, which I think laws need to change. And he never has said he was sorry. So anyway, my message to you is to keep cycling because it is a passion and for many, but when driving, please don't drive distracted. Don't use cell phones, texting, etc. And please don't let a loss like mine or my family's happen to others. I miss them daily.
We got Chris Huffman's going to talk about safe cycling.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. One of the things that I was able to do last year is ride across the United States, and this jersey went with me. Now, I would have liked to say that this was the jersey that I rode with when we finished Roger's ride, and that's not the case. What happened in April, I went up to Ohio to, get some training in, so to speak. While I was up there, a young man by the name of Zach Kearns was killed around Anna. The reason I say that is because that's where my jersey went. It went to Zach's family. Just a couple of things, guys, girls, just something that you can do in order to keep you guys safe. Wear a light. The helmet comes into play after the crash. Let's avoid the crash. Let's remember the 3 feet rule that vehicles are supposed to maintain. But if there's one thing that I can say to all of you guys, I was a police officer for 36 years, and I had to investigate a couple of crashes. Bicyclists are normally the ones at fault. Think about the last time you were involved in a crash. It probably didn't even involve a motor vehicle. Look out for each other, give each other a little bit of space, but most of all, be seen. Just because you have the rights out there on the lane, just because you have the road out there, we're supposed to share the road, vehicles are supposed to share the road with us, doesn't mean that they're going to do that. I was coming up right before the ride. Again, this happened in April of last year. I was coming up Davis Highway in a bike lane. Came up right in front of Wendy's restaurant, and everything had slowed down. The vehicles had slowed down. I was going faster than the vehicles. Not much faster, maybe 15 miles an hour, maybe 14. The vehicles were doing maybe 3-4 miles an hour. A lady turned right into me. That's why I have the red band on and whatever. No, I wasn't transported to the hospital. Yes, I still have pain in my hand. Now, you could say I was the one that should have been protected because I was in a bike lane. I should have known better. She never passed me. I was the one that was getting ready to pass her. When you're coming up, just because you're in that bike lane does not mean that everybody has seen you. There for a while, whenever I had a close call or somebody failed to yield the right away to me, I just added another light on my bicycle. Well, now there are some things that are out there. What's a light? What's $100 for an LED light that's USB chargeable? Come on, guys. We will never have the opportunity to ride together like we're doing today. Let's remember those that have come before us. Let's remember those that have come behind us. And I wish I could say in that week while I was up in the Buckeye State that that was the only death, that time period that I was there. Before I left, Joe Giamatti was also killed. He was killed outside of Troy, Ohio, that same week. And I don't believe, guys, I don't believe, ladies, that the person who hit him saw him before the crash occurred. In the 36 years that I was a police officer, I never had somebody tell me, you know, officer, I saw the vehicle, but I thought I had enough time. That's not what happened. What happened is I didn't see the vehicle. Okay, let's be observant out there. Just because you have the helmet on, just because we're wearing bright colors and everything, I'm sorry, I don't mean to treat you like a dad, I don't mean to treat you like a brother. But people, we've got one chance, and this is it. Love y'all.
Just to reinforce that, I just read an article that said vehicles driving with daylight running lamps on their cars are 16% less likely to be in a car accident. So even car on car, I mean, if we have lights on our bikes, it's going to make us more visible. All right. Now here's Tim to read the list of some fallen riders.
So here's the updated list of men and women that have been killed while riding a bicycle. Dario Ballesteros, Zachary Kearns, and this is in our local area. Zachary Kearns, Joseph Giampapa, is that how you say it? Lawrence Anderson, Thomas Steinhardt Throkill, Haley Richard Baker, Harry Crawford, our very own Roger Gruders, Elizabeth Dawn Allman, Clint Malone, Dr. Finner McConnell, and Jennifer Brooks Bradstock.
All right, Trish Connell with the Rite of Silence poem.
I do have this poem to read, but at this point, I would like for us to go over the rules of the ride, and then to follow, to get in line along each side. Riders lined up on both sides so that after the poem and the prayer are read, the hearse will come and drive down the middle lane. Folks on this end will then start falling in behind the hearse, 2 by 2. At this point, we're going to ask everyone to observe silence as we honor our fallen cyclists and our friends, and bring a little sense of solid to the ride. All right, so if we could all go ahead and just line up on either side.